Hello and welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the June reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. So Cancer, this month I kind of feel like you have this desire to really revamp or redo like your personal space, like, you know, whether it's your house or like your apartment. I feel like you want to change out curtains and you want to redecorate, and you kind of like are really in that space where you're trying to tap into your creativity, particularly when it comes to like redesigning the space that you live in, right? So like interior decorating and doing that type of thing. When I was planning for this reading, I just kept seeing windows open, like windows being open, and like these really light white curtains that are like floating in the breeze. And so I feel like you should consider doing that to like your space, opening up your windows, even if you don't like, you know, want to do like the whole redecorating thing. Open up your windows, light you know, incense or sage, or, you know, palo santo or copal, and, you know, let air your space out. I feel like there has to be like a cleaning. I feel like there's like some really emotional stuff that you're like handling or dealing, or you're in your feelings about something. And what needs to happen is that you need to tap into the element of air, which is really about being logical as opposed to being emotional. I feel like that's a space that you need to be in to kind of handle the way you feel about something that's, you know, going on right now for you. So I just did a video about Mercury retrograde, and I was talking about, you know, the lessons that were learned from Mercury retrograde. So I wanted to kind of pull cards from the Sacred Cycles Oracle deck to kind of go over what lessons Cancer learned during this last retrograde period. Okay. All right. So we have these cards are you know, they're interesting. So we have 3 cards that came out. Yeah. Number 48. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Number 48, which is clitoris, right? Put that there so you can see it. The red tent. And 28, which is pregnancy, right? So I mean, off the top, you know, pregnancy could mean pregnancy, right? Like being pregnant, or finding out that you're pregnant, or, you know, feeling like you want to have a child is something that might have kind of come up for you in during the retrograde period. But also pregnancy is a sign and a symbol for like creative energy, and so you might have felt the need to create, like, whether it's space or painting or drawing or writing, but tapping into like your creative energies during like this past retrograde period. I'm gonna read these cards. So the first one, like I said, is clitoris. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. Okay, so pleasure is my birthright. An intricate web of nerves networking well beyond what many believe it to be. The clitoris expands throughout the vulvar area surrounding the vaginal opening and is filled with around 8,000 nerve endings. Designed purely for the purpose of pleasure and derived from the Greek word for key, the clitoris holds one potential source of the felt experience of bliss within the sacred body. It is time to claim pleasure fully. You can start by looking for simple ways to cultivate more joy each day as you seek out what fills your mind, body, and soul with sensations of delight. Witness the signs and synchronicities that show up to support you along this path. The magnetic energy of joy is undeniable, which is what might make it so scary to those who would perpetuate shame around pleasure. Life can and should be a pleasurable experience. You are capable of experiencing in infinite depths of bliss. It's time to give yourself permission to do so and be willing to take the steps needed to release anything standing in the way of your pleasure. Is there something inhibiting you during this time period from experiencing deeper pleasure? And so that's a question that you really have to kind of like sit with. What in your life is inhibiting your pleasure? Because there is a sense of overwhelming emotion. I feel like you might not necessarily have the community that you want. Your life might feel like it's filled with just the day-to-day tedious activities. And I feel like a lot of you might want to kind of like get out and have fun, connect with other people. Particularly like feminine, there's like a lot of feminine vibes in these cards already. But with pregnancy and the red tent, I feel like there is an element or aspect of you that might be yearning for like sisterhood or a relationship with the feminine energies in your life, or just feminine energies, period. So that could be something that's coming up for you, and it might lead back to the overwhelming emotional feelings that you're kind of having during this time period. So I'm going to go to 39, which is the red tent. I create sacred space for myself. A red tent is an ancient ritual space deeply rooted in traditional cultures, respect and reverence for the human body, and its connection to the earthly rhythms. Also called moon lodges or menstrual huts, these structures all offer a retreat for those experiencing their cyclical bleed, creating a space for rest, a pause from daily obligations, and an opportunity to connect with others in the community. These spaces are slowly reemerging in modern culture, but can also be created at home or the small group in your community. This is a call for you to create sacred space for yourself in whatever way would most serve your needs at this time, whether for your own menstruation or a haven for some personal reflection. Crafting a space, a safe place for your prosperity is a gift to your overall well-being. This can be as simple as a designated chair you settle yourself upon to drop into a more magical mindset. It could also be a whole room designed to cultivate your self-care exploration, a space that you invite others into to honor the sacred time. This is your opportunity to declare the ways you'll be stepping back to reflect upon your life and nurture yourself while connecting with others who can support you. So ultimately, again, I feel like there's those two elements right there mixed in together. So we have the idea of creating sacred space. Like I said, saging out your space, cleaning your space out energetically, but also creating a space to develop relationships within your community, with other females in your community, or just a sisterly type bond. I feel like there is like a strong desire for that. And the last card is 28, which is, what is that? Pregnancy. So pregnancy is, I'm open to receiving support, a phase meant to nurture the growth of what is near and dear, something that requires time, energy, and tending. Pregnancy needs an untold and seemingly endless number of resources. You're being asked to commit to an endeavor wholeheartedly. An idea, relationship, or project has chosen you to help create, to craft and cultivate it. What an honor to be the channel for this. Allow yourself to trust that you are the best person to bring forth this expression of consciousness. You are so very capable of caring for the people, projects, and dreams in your life that you need your love and attention right now. But you don't have to do it all alone. There are many means of support available to you throughout this experience, so be sure to reach out, letting others know that you're open to receive. What are you what are you currently nurturing, and what could I ask others for help with? So if you haven't listened to my retrograde review video, I'm gonna put the link in the bio. I feel like you should listen to it because a lot of this is like things that came up in the retrograde review, and in terms of things that I noticed with the collective energy, and what, you know, they were kind of the lessons that were learned throughout the retrograde period. And this is definitely one of them, which is like this creation energy, and working on personal projects and seeing those personal projects through. But like I said, there's also a sense of community really being talked about, you know, in all of these cards, and finding a sense of pleasure, or a sense of ease, or a sense of family, or, you know, a union with other women in your community, and having that type of kinship and that type of relationship. I feel like a lot of you might be in a space where you're craving a sort of energy where you have, you know, more female friends, or you need like mothering, or you need a sense of community with you and other women. So I kind of feel like that's what retrograde you know, brought up for you, right? So I am using the, what is it called? The Prairie Majesty Oracle, right? I was just saying that I won this Oracle deck. I wanted to actually purchase it, but won it. And so that was like really great because I was so excited when I won. And I didn't believe that I won. So when I actually got the package, I was like, oh, shucks, I really did get it. So please tell us what the theme of the reading this month will be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. Here we go. Work. So again, this is kind of like, you know, talking about like that project and working on projects and kind of going into the space. And for some of you, that is, like I said, that is that interior design element. Prairie Mound Ant is the card here for work, and is what is mine. The question on top is, what is mine for the doing? Can you see that? What is mine for the doing? All right, so that is going to be kind of like the focus for you this month, right? Oh, it's Prairie Mound Ant. Oh, I swear I can never find the one that I'm looking for. Prairie Mound Ant. Oh, we found it. So let's see. Prairie Mound Ant. You see it? Prairie Mound ants are movers. They understand the power of forward momentum and accomplish improbable feats. These go-getters create enormous dirt mounds, housing a labyrinth of passageways and chambers for specific uses. Ant queens, males and female workers all have different jobs and responsibilities. At the same time, they work as a collective for the colony's growth and survival. Through their industry, they mix and turn the soil, benefiting the whole ecosystem. What's your relationship to the concept of work? Does it feel heavy, burdensome, forced, or even boring? If so, try a neutral definition. Expending effort for a purpose. Is there a task with your name on it today? What would you like to bring into your life to do? Tap into ants' industrious energy and choose. This could be physical or mental. Some work is best accomplished when your body is still. Going within to learn, connect, and grow is one of our most important jobs. Ant says, just start. Undertake what's in front of you, however small, and go from there. While challenges are a normal and healthy part of life, work doesn't have to be hard to be meaningful or effective. Does it shift your perspective to step into both free will and personal responsibility? You may want to consider a couple of additional messages when Prairie Mount Ant shows up. Are boundaries playing a role in your present situation? Remember, no one can do your work for you, nor you theirs. Get clear about your role and get clear about your role and focus there. Is there a need for teamwork? If so, step into hive mind and explore how your personal role helps the collective achieve what would be impossible solo. So for some of you, this here, like I said, this is about birthing that work or that project or that creativity, and actually putting that work. I feel like the work itself isn't really work for you because you actually enjoy it. So it's just really about staying focused and being clear on what needs to get done and just starting, right? Like not putting it off and not, kind of like dragging your foot with whatever new ventures or whatever new creative projects you have, but, just kind of throwing yourself into it and just putting in the work necessary for that. So that really kind of falls in line with even the lessons that came out of retrograde, right? So I'm going to pull like a shortened version of the Celtic cross. I call it the Celtic cross without the tail, right? And so I'm going to pull those cards to kind of like see what your energy is for this month, looking to see what you might expect to encounter or come across, right? So let's do this. I'm gonna pull Okay, so in this current moment, it's the Nine of Wands in reverse that is being crossed by the Four of Cups reversed. In the past, we have the Tower, and in the conscious realm, we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. In the subconscious realm, we have the Empress, of course, and the final outcome is the Star in reverse. I don't know if you can see these cards. I feel like you can't see them, can you? I'll show them to you. How about that? Okay, so in the present moment, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So really, like I said, I did feel a lot of heavy energy with you guys in the beginning of this reading, and this is that energy, right? So feeling like you came out of a really rough situation, a really rough dynamic. I feel like you had like this moment where the things that you might have been building for yourself, or the relationships that you might have had for yourself, or something major happened to you, like you lost something major. It could have been a job. It could have been, like I said, a breakup of a relationship, a breakup of a dynamic, but something was definitely removed from your life. And that created a little bit of hardship for you, which you're kind of struggling with at this time, trying to kind of move yourself out of that and move forward. Now, what happens with the Tower card is I feel like a lot of people really fear the Tower card because it really is a shaking up of things in your life, right? So things take a major turn, like a major upheaval in your life. And the thing about the Tower is that a lot of us don't like major changes in our lives. We like things to be the way that they are. But what the Tower does is it might remove some people out of your life, right? You might have had some people come back to you during Mercury retrograde, and you just realize that, like, first of all, anything that happens, like any type of new relationship that starts during Mercury retrograde, usually does not last, right? So you might have met someone during this time period or been dealing with a situation during this time period, and as Mercury retrograde came to an end, it ended on June 3rd, everything kind of like fell apart, and you know, whatever that new thing was, it's no longer. Now the thing about the Tower card again is when the Tower card happens, it comes to basically remove people, situations, dynamics out of your life that are not for your best good. Like they're not built on a solid foundation. They're not built with a good foundation for it to last. And so as a result, the Tower card comes to kind of like shake that up and sweep certain aspects, people, situations, dynamics out of your life because they're not really for your best, right? But you are kind of like looking back on the situation, you know, feeling a little down, feeling like, you know, you really lost something here, right? You really feel like you lost something. But if you look at this card, the Four of Cups, you see this cup here. This is an offering from Spirit for you that regardless of whatever it is that you're going through right now, and you might be really kind of like really in your feelings about it, really reminiscing about this loss that you had, the loss was actually a gift from Spirit. Like it was necessary for it to happen, to put you in a place to where you're starting on a fresh slate and removing people and aspects out of your life that aren't for you so that you can be in a better space. But I feel like you're missing it because you're too focused on the loss, right? And so because of that, it's like you're really having a hard time moving forward. You're having a hard time really feeling hopeful about the future and what the future will bring and where things are going. So much so that on a conscious level, like you're missing the messages that Spirit is sending you, that is guiding you in the proper direction. And honestly, with this card being at the subconscious, like we have this Empress energy, we literally just had this card, right? Remember this card that came out before with the lessons that came from retrograde? Pregnancy energy and that Empress energy are literally, along with the card whose name I'm not going to say, along with this pleasure, you're like missing out. You're missing out on the pleasurable aspects and the messages that Spirit is trying to send you about the gift that they've just given you, about the shake up in your life. Like this shake up in your life is a gift and you're missing it. You're missing the messages. You might be having a lot of dreams right now. I'm trying to really figure out what those dreams mean. You know, incoming messages, you know, that might have come in, and I feel like you're missing them because you're too stuck in your feelings and really reminiscing or obsessing about, you know, this situation that's been taken out of your life. And so you're, like I said earlier, you're having like a hard time here. You're having a hard time with really being hopeful about what the future will bring and where this is going to lead you. But the final outcome, I mean, the star is always a really good indication that some of you, like, whatever it is, this gift that's being given to you, it could be attached to a person who has Aquarius in their chart, but really it is really about being hopeful, because this change in your life, this massive overall change of energy that's happening, is really here to kind of clear out your space and put you, like I said, on like a fresh palette, so that you can go in the direction that you want, and you can potentially have more pleasure going in that direction than you had previously. You're in your feelings right now, and you need to kind of like think about it in a logical way and not miss the message and not miss the help that's being given to you. So asking for clarification about this person that has been removed out of your life. All right, I'm using the Lenormand deck for that. Using the Lenormand deck for that. A little bit more about this fox character. trying to do. Okay, so asking about the person that's removed or the situation that's removed out of your life, it's definitely a person, right? And so what we have here with the fox and the stars, right, is an indication that this particular person has like a little bit of a cunning to them. They are very smart, but they're also can be a little bit self-serving, meaning whatever they do, there's like a calculated thing attached to it, right? They're a little sneaky, right? They're a little clever. I feel like they were kind of, you know, not necessarily being honest with you or whatever, but they definitely took you on a journey, on a trip. Like, there's a lesson to be learned here, because at the end of the day, we have like this positive card with the sun card that came out, and also the I think this card is the public space card, right? Let me see. What's that card called? It's called the Garden. Yeah. This card is about networking. It's about being social. It's about being out and about. It's about hanging around with people, having a good time. It's about being social, right? So, like I said, you might be getting invitations to go out and you're just not taking them because you're like in your feelings about this loss. But you didn't really lose much. I know you feel like you do. You didn't lose much. And this is definitely an opportunity to learn from the situation and to really realize, like, sometimes a person that has like a silver tongue or a person that says something in the right way that elicits an emotional response from you, they might be doing that on purpose. And when that happens, you know, you kind of like are in the space where you might feel like somebody said the right things to you, but they didn't necessarily back up what they said they were going to do, or they, you know, whatever promises they made, they didn't necessarily keep it, because at the end of the day, I don't know if that was their initial reason in the first place, but I feel like you might have thought so. And so now you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of stewing about it a little bit. But I really do feel like this person, situation, whatever that's being removed out of your life was for your best, because on a subconscious level, it's putting you in a space to kind of like focus on your creating, your pleasure, you know, and really kind of like creating that life for yourself, getting in touch with nature, getting out and hanging out with people, you know, being in the garden, right? Being in this garden space they're talking about, being in the garden and hanging out, right? Networking, socializing, meeting people that can help you with this project that you're working on. I feel like, you know, it all kind of mixed together. If you go out, you might meet some people that, you know, you can work with, that can help you create what it is, or be a part of like your networking worker beehive, you know, coalition, and you guys can help each other work on certain projects together to really, like the card said earlier, to get further along than you probably thought you could get. If you work with other people, you could do that. And I do feel like there is a strong desire for you to do that, but right now you'd rather sulk. Don't do that. Go out. Summer's here. We are outside. I mean, coronavirus is, I don't know if I can say that, but, you know, the vid is still around. So, you know, be safe, but go out and enjoy yourself and start to really, like, you know, live your life, right? So we're going to pull advice cards for you guys for this month. What is the advice from Spirit? What is the advice from Spirit for you for this month? So yes, these are so is integration, right? We have integration and we have ascension. So this is the gift right here. So the lessons that you learned during this past retrograde period, or whatever this this tower situation was that was removed from your life, the lessons that you learned, you need to integrate them into the way that you deal with your life or your goings-ons, or you're developing, or you're starting a business, a relationship, a friendship. Implement those, thought processes in, moving forward. I feel like whatever lessons you learned during this period, you need to use them because that'll help shield you. That is also a part of the gift. Like when you learn these lessons, you kind of like protect yourself from, future happenings, future heartache, because it's like now you're aware, like your eyes are open, right? With integration, we are a sum of all of our experiences in this and other lives. We all bring forward a wealth of knowledge, talents, and wisdom. One of the challenges is remembering who we are. We are bombarded every day in every way with messages on who we should be, what we should do, what we should wear, how we should live. These messages coming from the media, society, family and friends, and even strangers, can drown out who we really are meant to be and who we have grown into lifetime after lifetime. Find some quiet moments in your day to identify and start a relationship with that small, strong voice inside you. Pretty soon, you won't hear the other messages. And many times in your interactions with others, you hear that small voice that tells you something is not right. Your logical mind tells you to stop it. Nothing is wrong. Stop being silly, dramatic, and overreacting. You may ignore your inner voice in a quest to fit in, to be loved or admired. You do not realize that your inner voice is warning you that the other person's energy is not matching their words or their actions. What did I say with this person right here? What did I say about that person, the fox? Sometimes people's words don't match up, right? And so now, you do not realize that your inner voice is warning you that the other person's energy is not matching their words or actions. Listen to your instincts about this situation or this person. So again, I feel like Spirit is really trying to let you know that the end of this situation is for your best good. Like, because this person is not necessarily living up to who, they say they are. Their actions don't line up. Foxes usually move steadily in stealth because at the end of the day, their best interest is in their own personal survival. And so they may do that at the risk of hurting other people because they're concerned about themselves. That's it. So having a relationship like that fall out of your life, what is so bad about that? Can't be bad. It's good. And so moving forward, you understand that a person's words needs to match up with the energy that they actually present. Because anybody could say anything, but what they do says a lot more than anything that they could actually say. So keep that in mind and integrate that thought into your life, right? And then the final card, again, is ascension. Some of those following a spiritual path have ascension as the ultimate goal. However, ascension portrayed in art and literature is a great leap into instant nirvana, is actually a giant work of, art and fiction. Rather, ascension is the process of conscious living. We are all spiritual beings. We are all souls in a human body who are living life on this earth in order to learn and grow at the soul's level. That is being spiritual. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are walking towards ascension. Y'all about to level up, okay? Level up. Each experience, relationship, obstacle, joy, and creation will bring you one step closer on the ladder to where we all end, with a great awareness of ourselves than we started out with. This situation at its best, is a rung on the ladder of your soul's path towards ascension. Chop it up to experience, right? And you're going to take that, dust your shoulders off, and move on to bigger and better things. The situation that you are inquiring about is assisting you on this ladder. Work at the bigger picture and know that you are bigger than any issue or problems that you may have. So, sulk for a little while, but my love, get over it and move forward. It's the best thing that ever happened to you. You might not feel like it right now, but it is though, because spirit don't make no mistakes. Okay, so that is the end of the reading. New format. I'm just trying to do a little thing, trying to work a little thing out and see how this goes. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about the reading, how it like pertains to your life. Follow and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for post notifications. Share the video with a friend. And I will see you guys soon. Take care.